let's see, the next item would be comments from our general manager.
I have a few. First of all, I want to thank the board for hiring me and bringing me on. It's been a fun 2 weeks so far, and 2.5 weeks.
You're not resigning, are you?
Oh, no, no. I told my wife, it's probably the best job I've ever had, and it's too bad I waited these many years to be here. But I've been around touring the water system with the guys and kicked the tires and everything, and I feel like I've got a decent handle on some of the issues, and I know I've forgotten a lot more than I've already learned, but I'm getting, pardon the pun, I'm getting my feet wet and enjoying the time. I do, in front of you is a message I'd like to put up on our website, a message from the general manager, and I know in the past there's been some issues on that, and so I just want to make sure you guys are okay with that going up. And yeah, you bet. So,
You already got one?
and I've had a chance, I think I've met with all 3 media folks in the last 2 weeks, and I have to say that the reporting's been fair and honest, and I'm not used to that in previous media markets. It's refreshing.
For making that comment, yeah.
In 2.5 weeks, it'll be one publication.
Yeah. And anyways, it's been really nice to get started here in Mesquite. And as I said, my message from the general manager and everybody I've run into in Mesquite so far has been really pleasant and friendly, and I just feel very comfortable here. Getting on to what I actually had written up there, and ties into the getting around and seeing the system and talking with the guys about the operations and everything like that. We've identified we need an additional valve up near the airport to help isolate a line and we found out that Mesquite City put that line in, and there's 2 4-inch cables that are running in the same trench as our water line up there, and it's a little trickier to get the valve in than we thought it was going to be. We don't want to nick one of those. One's a power cable and the other one's a communications cable, and we don't want to nick either one of those.
Just nick one, make it the communication cable.
Yeah, anyway, so it's we're still going to be within the $6,000 budget that I have there, but it's just going to be a little bit trickier to get the valve installed than we originally thought. And then there's a 360-foot line that we want to run to in a dead end that's over by the Taco Bell in that area, and loop that in there to help both with pressure and fire flow in that area. It's going to cost about $16,000, and that's one we're actually going to bid out. And before we can do that, we want to get our bidding process amended by the board and approved to more comply with Nevada law, and make sure they're on board with that. So that one's going to be a little bit further out, but I just wanted to report that one to you.
Just a question on that.
Yeah.
Is that not something we can do in-house? Just,
Yeah,
extend that?
Yeah, and well, we could do that in-house, but boy, we've been running into an awful lot of leaks that the guys have been working on, and I just don't want to leave trenches open and things like that while guys are out doing water, fixing water leaks and stuff. So yeah, we could do it in-house. I think we'd get a better bang for our buck if we contracted that out. So. And then numerous water leaks. We've only had one this week. We had multiple water leaks last week and the week before, and the guys have been extremely busy out repairing those.
At that time of the year.
Yeah, the heat seems to drive that up. Construction bidding process improvements. We've been in contact, Aaron's been in contact with the city of Mesquite. We're looking at amending their process to fit our needs, and we don't want to reinvent the wheel, so they've already got something that's fairly decent in place, so we're going to make this as fairly quick and possible as we can and get that to the board, hopefully by the next board meeting for your approval to change our bidding process over to similar to what City of Mesquite does. Sanitary survey, Aaron's already reported on that. One of the fun things about being new is you get to walk around and ask why we do certain things and why things are a certain way, and you get to play really dumb in doing that because you really don't know why things are done a certain way. And some of the things we want to accomplish in talking with the staff is make improvements to the background where the customer service folks are at, and include a picture. We just had a group picture taken yesterday. We're going to have a group picture of all of us on the wall there, and then have pictures of all of our facilities up on the wall. Not all of them, but you know, kind of indicating.
The prettier ones.
Yeah, the treatment plants and some of the nicer wells and things like that, so that when folks come in, they understand a little bit more. Maybe ask a question about what that particular picture may be, and help educate folks on you know, our water system. As I mentioned in my general manager's thing, we have a very complex water system in Mesquite, and I don't think the general public understands how complex this is. And this is just one of those ways to try and help improve that education. And a couple of things I noticed is both Wes and Aaron have these little tiny computer screens that they're trying to read these large GIS maps and large spreadsheets and everything like that. And I felt bad for them, so I went ahead and ordered them a couple of large screens for their computers, so that it will take the eye strain off of them just a little bit and help them be a little bit more efficient.
I don't know, I think we're going downhill. We went from the nice table with the skirting to fold up and...
I have to admit, I was not a big fan of the other ones, and we had a meeting with Bull & Collins a couple of weeks ago, and came in to have a discussion around a table, and we had those other tables in here, and it was almost impossible to sit down and have a conference room type discussion, and so I made a decision to bring this table back from the dead. So the water rates study status, as I mentioned in here, we met with Mike Chandler from Bull & Collins to discuss some ideas and develop some assumptions for further evaluation. We're still probably about a month away from being able to have a work meeting relative to the rate study, but that will be coming up in a little bit. With staff, I have taken a look at some additional things that needed to be included in our capital improvement plan. We're going to sit down together and come up with a good plan to discuss with the board that not only talks about, you know, redundancy in the water system and things like that, but this building's 20 years old. It's not seen new carpet or paint in those 20 years, and you know, those things we need to factor into our budget in the long run. And so those types of things we're going to be talking about in the future.
We do have new carpet on the floor, though, I noticed.
In this room, yeah. But if you go back there, there's holes in the carpet, and it just...
We do own this land next door too.
Yeah.